Hello and welcome back. And I took a mini vacation for the past 5 days. This is episode number 10 and it's titled Loneliness. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, The Commuter Pal, and James Brown. One needs to come to terms with loneliness in life. It is never easy, and of course, there are degrees of loneliness, but it is unavoidable. We're all lonely to a certain degree. We need companionship and love, but the yearning is not easily satisfied. Genuine connections with people are not simple, and we each have our specific needs and wants. Yet loneliness is inescapable and can be embellished by misunderstandings and misinterpretation. It's a complex subject, and all I can say is that loneliness is a constant threat to humanity, and you just have to deal with it in some fashion. And I know that this is not very clear and concise, which is probably making everyone who's listening right now more lonely. I enjoy the absolute anarchy of the show, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. This show is not for the faint of heart, and I'm certain that I have never witnessed a wackier cast of characters and scripts. And I happened to read the New York Times review of the season opener of the seventh season several years ago. And then I thought to myself, there are two things that don't go together: the New York Times and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It is a wacky show, that is for sure, and it can be quite crude and yet very comical. One morning, while waiting for the train, an old commuter pal showed up on the platform I hadn't seen in a couple of years, and I told him that it had been a while. He's a very funny and gregarious guy, so he replies by saying, "It has been a while, and you have a gray beard now, your hair seems to be getting thin, and you're looking shorter. Basically, you look like shit." That was very funny. By the way, I can listen to James Brown with my hair on fire. I don't know any musician that could come close to duplicating him. He's the king of funk and possibly one of the most unique acts I've ever seen. Someone said this, and I'm not sure who it was, but here goes. If you're looking for mundane, inexhaustible, and repeated injections of amateurism, then I'm your guy. Whoever said this fits me perfectly. Comedy is simply the interpretation of one's disdain of reality. People with a comedic sense have a solid sense of reality. They understand it, they deal with it, but they just don't enjoy it. I know I don't. A friend of ours' daughter was shopping during Christmas at a mall with her friends, and one of the girls was hit by a car in the parking lot. And my wife wondered, how could the driver miss the four girls? And I told her they didn't. They got hit. They hit them. Fortunately, the girl was okay and not injured badly. The reason that most Republicans don't believe in evolution is that they were never a part of it. You can't believe in evolution if you haven't evolved. You know what I spend the most time doing now in my life is deleting emails. Yes, deleting emails. And does the unsubscribe link work on any of these emails anymore? It just doesn't seem like it does. I mean, this to me has to change. Apophenia is an interesting word. It's defined as incorrectly finding patterns or connections in data that is actually random, or the tendency to find patterns or meaningfulness where none exist. It's interesting in that much research is fluid and doesn't recognize that the input of data is constant. A lot of research is based on a particular timescale, providing directional information that has a shelf life. Another interesting word is caconomics, which is the preference for low quality outcomes. I think much of the world can relate to this term. My son posted a comment saying that life is a movie. I just don't know what to name it. I told him, whatever you do, don't go to Hollywood with it because they'll turn it into crap. One of the issues today is the pace of our world and how we adapt to it. Very simply, everyone is moving at such a rapid clip that communication amongst ourselves is being impacted. Most of the younger people today have little patience for small talk, a little repartee, maybe a touch of humor. They require flatline, concise, logical speech that gets right to the point. You have a few seconds to get your message across, and if you can't, they drift away and lose interest. It's sad, and technology is to blame. I'm not a big fan of the term RIP, rest in peace. Do I want to rest in peace? Hell no. I sleep at night. That rest I don't mind. We all need that break, but to rest for eternity? No way. Not my choice, obviously, but if I had a choice, I'd pass. It's very overrated. There's way too much going on in the universe to miss it. I remember reading this story several years ago that there are more people in India with cell phones than with running water. And if it was me and I had a cell phone but no running water, the first thing I would do is call a local official or plumber and get running water installed immediately. Though I do realize that that's not that easy to do in India. These were actual emails that I received at work, and I thought these were worth keeping. The first one was, please, this was an email to me and said, please replace Dennis. Thanks. I don't know how to interpret that. Second one was, I don't believe I like your answer, to which I replied, I don't believe I like your question. Number 3 was, yikes, look at the size of this thing, and this was a report I sent. This one is a back and forth, starting with me. I said, the database doesn't provide that information. Which one would you prefer? To which she responded, both. My reply was, you can only choose one. To which she said, okay, 1 and 2. My reply was, okay, I'll do 1. And she said, followed by 2. From here, I gave up and did both. She won. And I think I know how Jerry Wexler felt when he witnessed Aretha Franklin in the studio. He must have said, holy shit, look what I just found. He knew right there and then that he landed a treasure, 1 in 100 million. She's an incredible talent. And when it comes to music, blacks, I think, are the teachers and everyone else is the students. When you have a list of musicians like Charlie Parker, James Brown, John Coltrane, Louis Armstrong, Aretha Franklin, Duke Ellington, Marvin Gaye, Ray Charles, Robert Johnson, Billie Holiday, Stevie Wonder, Chuck Berry, Art Blakey, John Lee Hooker, Dizzy Gillespie, B.B. King, Smokey Robinson, Ella Fitzgerald, Muddy Waters, Sarah Vaughan, The Temptations, and that's just to name a few. It's your game. Everyone else is just imitating them. I think that many people today mistake loud, obnoxious, and self-righteous individuals as strong personalities. There is a difference between the two, and those traits are not within the definitions of strong personalities. Many folks with strong personalities are quiet, unassuming, and reserved. And lastly, all is useless and useful at the same time and place, though I'm not really sure I can explain that one. I will stop here and see you soon. Thanks.